Steven was asking me. I was telling Steven that I don't like to be on camera.
Yeah.
I don't like to have my picture taken.
I know. That's why I appreciate this.
I said even the times I've had to speak to the media about stuff I didn't, I tried to get out of it, but it never worked out that way. I always had to talk to him. The last time I had to talk to him was when our department was integrating our training with the Denver Police Department. So, so that everything they got taught, we got taught, so we're all on the same page. And there'll be there's no second guessing anybody, because you're obviously all on the same page. So I was out at one of our training things, just checking on some of the guys that were training with the police department. And this guy from the media came up and asked me, what exactly it was that I did. I told him what I did while we were there, and he asked if I could get you to make a statement on camera. So I don't think my boss is going to let me do that, but I'll ask. And of course he says, yeah, go ahead. But I thought at that time it was a perfect opportunity for me to let people know exactly what we did while we're out there, because until they see you in uniform, a lot of people say, well, who are you guys? So I thought this was a good time to say, who we are, what we did, what kind of training we have, get away from that security stigma, So that's what I did. So I taught this guy for like 15 minutes. And he said, thank you. He goes, I'm going to, let me back up. He was talking to one of the police officers at the training place. And this guy was giving his interpretation of what we did, not really knowing the in-depthness of what we were going there for. So, and he's a great guy, great police officer, love him to death, known him for years. But his whole premise was that, we're there to kind of go to like a little, kind of like a small academy, just to bring us a little bit up to safety. But if anything major happens, then they come in. So he's saying basically we take up a position, and we're just the eyes and ears for him. He was doing that. He was saying that kind of stuff.
And you're saying that's what you guys did?
Yeah. He's saying
but that wasn't true, right?
That was it was the absolute definition of what a security person does. Is you don't do anything, you don't engage, you just be there. You're the eyes and ears for the police, and so this is the road he's going down. And like I said, I love this guy, but it made me so angry. So then, after they interviewed me, he would say, so what exactly do you guys do? Right, so I would tell him, burglar alarms. He said, well, do you, this is the interviewer, he says, well, do you talk to, do you get the police involved? I said, well, when we need to. I said, well, we handle all of our burglary alarms ourselves, unless we're way outnumbered and we need canine, which is kind of why we're here. So we do the same type of training. But when that whole interview came out the next day on the media, it was this guy saying, these guys are the eyes and ears for us. So they don't put themselves in danger. That's what we get paid to do. But then it cuts to me saying, no, that's not what we do at all. We catch and clean our own fish. We support them, they support us. But it was like that through this whole interview. So that officer, he was angry because he thought that I did that on purpose. But I didn't do that on purpose. It was just the way
they cut it.
Yeah, it was just the way they cut it. So if he asked me something, because as a matter of fact, this guy was like, yeah, we take all the danger, so that these guys go home. And when he did that, that thumb, so that we go home. And then he looked over at me like I was gonna come over and give him a hug, and say, hey, thanks for all you do, sir. Did that, everything he said that we did, I'm like, we don't do that. This is how we handle our business. There's. Everybody has a computer in their vehicles, and we can monitor the cameras. We need burglary alarm or blah, blah, blah. But the thing is there's only 8 of us out on the street at a time. So that's why we're doing this training, so that we can all be on the exact same page. And the guy's like, okay, thank you. But I actually watched it the next day, and it didn't really paint him in a bad light. What it did was paint him in a light that he didn't know what he was doing. But I went back and apologized to him. Because, that was not my intention. Because we're supposed to work with these guys and not against them. You know what I mean? So we couldn't have that kind of mess.
You think he didn't know, or
he called my boss and said that I made him look like a fool.
Wow.
And I was like, that can't stand, because I love this guy, you know. And I didn't want him to have that impression. He just looked like he didn't know what we were actually doing, even though we were there to train with them.
I was kind of surprised, like some of the stories you told me, like what you guys did, how involved you were. Like you did traffic stuff, you did accidents. I didn't know what you did either, you know, because you worked for the school system,
Right.
you know,
and you know, and it's good that you mentioned it, but you know, we have you know, ID, police ID. I think they're running red and blues now on their vehicles. But I always liked that job. You know, it was, you're out every day. You know, you're out dealing with. You're making a difference. You can honestly say that you're making a difference. Yeah.
it seemed to fit you too. It seemed to fit like what you were supposed to be doing at that time, anyway.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot of stuff going on.
What's the hardest part about it? The job.
The hardest part? The hardest part is the memories. Because it's really easy to put the face of a loved one onto an accident that you dealt with. So, if you didn't have that kind of, if those memories wouldn't come back, so I don't see the face of the guy that got hit by a car. I see his face.
Right.
Like, it's depressing. Or your face, or Ashley's face, or Ian, or Brianna. You know what I mean? Or mom and dad. You know, if I could not put your faces on trauma, it'd be great, but it doesn't work out that way.
I remember you told me once, which helped me to deal with police when they pulled me over, because you said that you see things every day that police officers do that you can't take back.
Very true.
I don't see these things, or Steven doesn't see these things, but you see them every day and it stays with you. And I never forgot that. And I was like, yeah, that's what the burdens of that job is.
Yeah, and you know, the thing is while you're in it, you know, you can, you just use the next day to move on, because the next day is always going to be different. You know, you try not to dwell on what happened. Communication is important. You know, police officers, you know, they talk to each other. Like, I could tell anybody on the street I worked with if I was having trouble, my wife was cheating, any of that stuff. They're always going to be a sympathetic ear. And you do the same for them. So, I mean, the bond is really deep. But once you stop doing it, you have to have some sort of outlet. Because one of three things is going to happen. You're going to move on like a regular person. You're going to drink yourself to death, or you're just going to kill yourself.
Right.
So if you can get past that, then you can be successful. So for me, when I stopped, I drank a lot because I wanted to avoid the nightmares.
How'd you stop? Because with you, it seemed like you stopped cold turkey. I know you went to AA, I'll talk to you about that too, but it seemed like you stopped cold fucking turkey.
I did, actually. It just wasn't doing anything for me. You know, eventually I had to stop and face what I needed to face. You know, I'm not really a huge drinker anyway. I was then, mind you. But you wake up sick, and you just drink more. Trying to make that feeling go away. Feel sorry for yourself. You look back at everything you've seen, everything you've done. It just comes back in waves. And that's why when you leave that job, you have to have some sort of an out, somebody to talk to. But I thought I was too macho to talk to anybody. But nightmares, constant memories, feeling sorry for yourself. You hide inside a bottle.
So you did AAA, but you did only a few meetings and you were kind of like, yeah, I'm good.
You know, a lot of those people I recognize were people that I arrested. So, just in that group that I was,
Yeah.
Jesus, I know that guy. I remember him being that big. I hope you don't, remember me.
Right.
Help detox him or whatever. But they never remember me. But, it's the same story. You know what I mean? And AA, I think, is a really, really good thing. But when I was sitting in there, at first I was like, okay, well, yeah, that kind of sounds like what I do. But, people do that for 20, 30 years. And all you got to do is just say no. So if you could do that, you're lucky. So I was able to do that because at that point in my life, I didn't give about nothing. Nothing. And that's what scared me, is I didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
I've actually been there.
Not
in the same way you was, but I've been there.
No,
I've had moments, but not
once.
months. I've had moments I just don't give a fuck, and then you're a really dangerous motherfucker at that time.
That's very true. Especially if you know how to use weapons and fight.
Yeah. No doubt.
But Brianna told me one day that she said she can't be in this world alone. So I had to pull my head out of my ass and get things right.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
Yeah.
Goddamn kids. Fuck, man. Those kids will do it, man.
Jerk you back to reality.
Yes.
I'm wrapped around all my kids' fingers.
Yeah.
Ian, not as much because he's the boy,
Yeah.
but still do anything for those kids.
Yep.
You do.
Yeah.
You're like that with Brianna. What's your relationship like with Brianna? What was it like? How's it evolved? What's it like now?
Brianna's been with me since she's like a year. At a year old is when I found out. Was when I left her mother, basically. So Brianna's just been with me that time. So we've been through good times. Of course, I know it sounds cliche.
No, that's true. Though.
But good times and bad times. So I'm a communicator. So I would always tell her what's going on. This is what's happening here. Well, the water doesn't work because the mean people at the water company shut your dad off. But we've always been tight because we've always talked. And her mom, she's a decent person. She's just going in a different direction at that time. But their relationship now, since Hazel's been born, has been really good. Her mom watches Hazel overnight, and her mom will come pick Hazel up. But, Brianna's seen the worst of me. The worst and the best, I guess. But,
brings you closer together, though.
It does. One of the guys I work with said that. He said it's always been amazing to him that no matter what I'm doing or where I'm at, that if Brianna calls, I answer. I'm like, well, you're right, because I don't know why. I mean, she's most of the time calling this chit chat. And I'm talking about when she was in like first, second, third grade, that sort of thing. She's had a phone that she's known how to use in emergency cases. But I know that 5-year-old Brianna calling me, there's probably something going on. But there really wasn't anything going on. It was just her wanting to chit chat. I'll always duck out and talk to her. And it's just been that way. That's how we are.
It's amazing because I have the same philosophy as you. I share what I'm doing well and what I suck at. I share my failures. I share my pain because I want the kids to have a realistic view of life.
Absolutely.
And then as they look at you, because you overcame it, and as they look at me, Stephen, or whatever, they see, that's what they went through, overcame, because they're going to go through shit too.
Absolutely.
So, and if you hide it from them and like, oh, I never go anything, my life is just so perfect, because nobody's life is perfect.
Nobody's life's perfect.
Then when they go through stuff, they're not going to know what the fuck to do.
You're absolutely right.
So
absolutely right.
And then the vulnerability and the braveness shows how strong of a person you are, how strong that relationship is.
It is. I mean, it's very strong. I took her on a couple of ride-alongs. And I've also had to take her with me sometimes when I've gotten like a call at night because I was always on call. But she wanted to see, at one time she wanted to see the area that I work in, which is basically the hood, and so I'm driving her through the hood and then she starts crying. I'm like, Brianna, what are you crying for? And she says, I've seen places like this on television and nothing good ever comes of it. I said, well, that's not always the case. I said, but I'm really careful. You know, I'm really, really good. I used to be a showboater. And the day Brianna was born, all that showboating stopped because it was really just me, you know. So if I got a black eye, a fat lip, or ended up on the ground with somebody, and then that's just a story to tell. Of my prowess and bravery. But once Brianna was born, that stopped. It really stopped on like my birthday, her birthday, Christmas, Thanksgiving. I wasn't gonna die on those days, you know, because Christmas would always be the day that her dad died, you know, or my dad died on his birthday or my birthday. As crazy as it sounds, I was always extra careful, you know, on the holidays and.
And so I wonder, like, were you afraid of death? You know what I'm saying? With the job you had.
You know, it makes fear makes you cautious. I'm not afraid of the sight of my own blood. Is really kind of what it is, and I have a pretty high threshold of pain, and I always have this. There's always something inside of me that will click, regardless of how scared I am or what I do, and then I just do whatever it is I need to do. So like, I can be afraid. I can look at somebody and say, I'd really hate to mess with that guy. You know, or that guy can be mad. Like, it's, you know, I really don't want to tangle with this dude. You know, there's always some fear. But then once, you know, you have to take action, something always clicks. And all that fear goes away. And it's just determination to do what I have to do. The fear stays with you constantly.
Is it like overwhelming burden?
Sometimes. Sometimes it is. Because sometimes you can be just kind of hanging out and you just get this feeling of dread. You know, and then you don't know, you know, why you're feeling that way. Because there's always a reason for how you feel. And it could be... it's always a sixth sense. I've just learned to listen to my sixth sense. There's, like, they tell you in the academy, and I've also seen some examples of it. So you're going to a traffic stop, you're by yourself. But you start walking up to that vehicle, if you sense that something is wrong, then something is wrong. You know, so you take precaution after that, because that's where fear sets in. If anybody tells you they're out there and they're not afraid, they're full of shit. You know, or they're just not doing the job. But fear keeps you focused. So if you don't feel comfortable with this one person, step back, call somebody else to come help you out. You know, you may find something, you may find nothing. You know, but most of the time you'll find something.
Is there like something that stands out, like a reaction?
Yeah, if they're looking in the mirror, they're constantly watching you, doing that, doing that. Or even when they're just sitting there. Yeah, I think I said this once before. The people that scare me are the people I can't read. You know, because I get a feeling from everybody. But if I don't get anything from you, I mean, visually or emotionally or nothing, then it really scares me.
It's almost like they're a crazy guy. Not trying to stereotype
No. Exactly. Or they're just, that's just how they are. You know, they don't generate anything. And not every person I felt that way with was a violent person. But I just catch myself looking at them like, something's going on with this one. I don't know what, but something.
Whether they're a sociopath or something.
Absolutely, because, you know, people are strong, man. Especially when they're pissed off. You know, like the best fight I ever got into was the one with, there was it was a mental patient, but he left. And we found him, and we weren't actively looking for him, and he wasn't a violent offender, but they needed him back in the hospital. Do you guys know who John Henry is? You know who John Henry is? John Henry, he was a slave that...
Yeah, I was talking about him the other day. I felt like that when I was shoveling snow. I didn't know you were going that far back.
I'm going back. So you know how he looked?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so this was John Henry. And as soon as we walked in there, he's just sitting at a table. And we started talking to him. So, well, you're going to have to come with us. He says, well, you're going to need more guys. So, okay, all right. So we called a couple more guys in. And it was me and Leroy. Leroy looks like Kimbo Slice. You know who Kimbo Slice is? I've known him for years. He looks exactly like Kimbo Slice.
Right.
Just big, you know, with his Muslim beard. Right. Him and I, and Jason and Dave, you know, so these two walk in. I said, is that enough? He stands up. He says, yeah. Jump on it. So it was just this huge wrestling match, and we're trying to get him, and he's just like throwing us off of his shoulder like a superhero. He tossed me over a couch, you know. I got stuck between the couch and the wall. But then, like a couple seconds later, here comes Jason. Jason gets tossed in the same area, so Jason's head hits the ground right next to me. It's all huge, there's dust everywhere. Get from behind us, he was just flinging us around, man. It probably lasted for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I was worried about him taking my gun.
Yeah.
Or anything like that. It was just a big ass wrestling match, but I thought it was the funnest thing, you know, because literally jumping, you know, Kimbo Slice jumps on it, you know, Kimbo Slice like this high off the ground. It's just one tackle, to the wall. The Leroy kind of peels off. But it was about 10 minutes, and finally we're all just kind of laying on the ground.
Right.
You know, just dirty. Like, are you ready to go now? I was like, yeah.
Right.
Let's go. But it was fun because I wasn't afraid of actually getting hurt. You know, I didn't think that he was going to take my gun and do something. Right. This was just a fight.
Yeah, like you said, it was just a wrestling match. He wasn't trying to really hurt anybody. If he could have, he probably could have.
He could have.
Yeah, he could have.
If you got a hold of your head, he could easily.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything. He grabbed you by the shoulder.
Yeah.
And then push you back. Fall over each other.
Right.
And he warned you.
He did. He
said, "Don't be full guys, brother.
Yep.
You ain't full guys."
He did. I thought he was just going to give up, you know.
Yeah.
Like he couldn't produce, you know. Those guys were close anyway, so all right. Listen up. He's like, yep. But he was just huge, you know. But I never ever saw him again after that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But it was fun. It was a lot of fun.
I had a question. So, it seems like in your whole life, you've always had the nose for these situations. Like, I remember growing up, you would tell me about how you were going out with your friends, and this is like when you were in high school, and you talked about somebody had wrecked their car, they were drunk. And it was like it was another person, they had wrecked their car and they were drunk, and you and your friends just happened to be by there, and you were able to pull this guy. I think he had a truck or something, and the truck was, I don't know if it was gonna catch on fire or something, and the guy was still trying to use the accelerator pedal to keep going. But it's just an example. It's like you're always around these events, and that's something that's always been interesting to me. You just have a nose for that stuff.
You know, you're right. But I don't always want to have a nose for that.
Yeah.
You know, the last time it was probably maybe a year and a half ago. I'm sure, I don't know if I told you or not, but I was actually on my way home, and I was on Mississippi. Did I ever tell you that, the motorcycle guy?
I don't know if you told me about that one.
Anyway, it was a warm day, so I'm on my way home, and I'm actually following Brianna, but Brianna, you know, she's a red light runner, right? So she runs this light, and not runs it, but I wait. Anyway, and then off in the distance, I see just one light, and I'm thinking, wow, you know, and I know it's a motorcycle, and I'm thinking, what a perfect day to be riding a bike. I said, and it's also rare that there's really nobody on the street, you know, because we're getting ready to turn. I think it goes on to Chambers from Mississippi or something.
Right.
So I'm in the turn lane. It's two turn lanes. I'm on the inside. This kind of truck's on the outside. This motorcycle's coming this way, and his lights, you know, just flickering because he's just riding along. And I thought, wow, I remember when I used to, you know, do that kind of stuff. So as this guy's riding by, he's got a helmet on, but he's got his visor on, and he looks at me. You know, so we make eye contact. Why we make eye contact? I'm thinking he's just looking because he thought we were going to go. But he looked at me as he's going by. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and he's probably going like 55 miles an hour, maybe a little faster. So I look in my mirror, and this van pulls out in front of him. Doesn't hit the brakes, doesn't have time, but it just hits it. Bam! Everything, I mean, just a big explosion.
Wow.
So I was already on my way around. Like, as soon as I saw him hit that, because he didn't hit his brake lights or nothing.
Yeah.
And I have never seen anybody survive that type of motorcycle accident, helmet or not. You know, you go into the side of a building, a car, whatever. There's no place for you to go but into it. So I immediately turn around and I just haul ass back that direction. And the guy in the truck does the same thing. So we're both turning at the same time. He's kind of in the inside or on the median. I'm in like the fast lane. But he goes on and I stop because the motorcycle, everything about the motorcycle is in this area. But I can't see the guy. I don't see the guy. So I get out of my car and I'm looking because I mean there's smoke. And I don't see this person. And as I go further into the smoke, I see him. He's on the ground. He's curled up in like the fetal position, which is always a bad sign.
Wow.
His visor on his helmet is down. His helmet is still on, and he's laying on his side. So I couldn't tell if he was breathing or not. So I just kind of put my hand on his belly.
Yeah.
On his side, 'cause he's laying to the side, and there's no movement. And then I noticed that there's blood pooling around his head, but his helmet is on.
Yeah.
So to get blood pooling out of your head with a motorcycle helmet on, your head is open. You know, it's not a good thing, right? But I know they called for paramedics or fire or whatever. The guy that went past me is now talking to the lady that pulled out. And I don't think she realized the gravity of what she did because when she gets out of the car, because I'm watching. When she gets out of the car, she has all the paperwork. You know, she's got this smile on her face, like, "Oh, I'm so sorry," like like it was him. Oh, I'm so sorry, I wasn't paying attention. And I know the guy shook his head and pointed toward me, and then she kind of looked over and just fell apart. So anyway, I'm glad his visor was closed, but his phone started buzzing in his back pocket. And I told myself, don't pick up this guy's phone and look to see who's calling, because it won't be a good thing.
Yeah.
But I did anyway, because I'm stupid. And I just said sis. So I just put it back in his pocket. Fire department rolls in, and there's just this pretty good sized pool of blood. And they asked, has he moved? No. Does he say anything? I said, no, because did you see what happened? So I kind of ran it down. And then I got up and got my car and just left.
Yeah.
But he didn't make it.
He didn't make it.
He was dead right there.
That's fucked up.
But I guess my point is, yeah, sometimes I see shit that I should just ignore. Part of me is like, just move on.
I'll never forget when you helped me with Ian. Remember when I called you? Because some kid was threatening Ian.
Yeah, with the knife?
Yeah, he was in elementary school. Some kid threatened him with a knife. Ian's scared to death. We called the principal. They tell him what's up. They don't believe Ian. You know, whatever the situation is. So I called you.
Right.
I said, Tom, what do I do? And you said, I'll take care of it. God damn.
End of story.
God damn.
Yeah, end of story.
End of fucking story.
Wow.
Me and Christelle will never fucking forget that.
Wow.
You know, these eye surgeries.
I've had 6.
Yeah.
So my vision is nothing like it used to be. Which is why I really haven't gone back into that industry.
Right.
Just because I don't see as well.
Right.
Which is really hard because, like, my depth perception is off. I know I probably told you, but my depth perception being off, if the stairs are all the same color, I don't see them.
Yeah.
And I just, even now, I'm just constantly fucking falling into stuff. I'm a lot better now, but when I first started, you know, I was always falling upstairs, downstairs, through doorways, because if the entrance is concrete or whatever, carpet, but then that little step up is the same color, I don't see it, you know? And so constantly just kicking shit. You know, one time I was working, and it was when I was delivering parts for Napa. And I'm in the garage, and then the guy in the garage says, "Oh, well, you know, the lady up front will sign your thing." Like, all right, so it was the middle of the afternoon. So I come out of the garage, and I'm on my way into the shop, but I don't see this lip that's about this high. So I hit it as I'm coming in, and I knocked over like a rack of tires and like some pamphlets and shit, and nobody offered to help me. There's like 8 people there just sitting there, just watching me. You know, I put the rack back together and pick up all the paraphernalia that had fell on the ground. And these guys are just sitting there watching me. Nobody got up to help.
Of course.
Tell Steve about that time with the pizza. You made a pizza, you just made it, you turned the corner, hit the wall or something.
Oh. That's not a funny story, right?
I know, it's not.
It's not a funny story. See, this is what I mean. See, it's hurtful. It's hurtful shit like that. It keeps me from being honest with people. Because he thinks it's funny.
It sucks though. You said that was your last pizza.
It was. I bought this frozen pizza. And just a little bit of hamburger meat and a little bit of mozzarella cheese.
Right.
And it was just perfect. I put it together. It was beautiful. Did some olive oil on the top, Parmesan cheese.
That's what I do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but I'm walking into my room from the hallway, and the door of the laundry room is open a little bit. So I hit it with this, because this is the side I can't see, but I hit it with my shoulder, and I was in a rush to get in there.
Yeah.
So everything just flew back up.
Oh no.
The pizza went all over the wall,
Oh,
all over the floor. It was hot.
Oh my God.
All over my arms. And it was like I almost just wanted to cry.
I got destroyed, dude.
It got just, there was no salvaging nothing.
Oh no.
I almost wanted to cry because that looked beautiful. It was beautiful.
Oh man.
But you know, it's this kind of stuff that gets taken away.
Right.
You know, you just
Right.
it's frustrating. You know, and I don't ever hit anything like this. I'll knock something over putting it back.
Right.
You know, but I'll never knock it over like this. It's always if something's behind me.
Right.
And I'll always knock it over. You know,
Okay.
soda, water.
Right.
So, what was your, once you got out of the police, what was your first job, and what was that like? And what did it feel like to be out? And you struggled a little bit?
You know, you can't go at that speed for years and years and years. And then try
How long did you do it? Feels like 20 years.
It was 22 altogether.
Yeah.
You know, but no, my first job was I was delivering auto parts for a ride, and I was gonna.
You liked it, right?
No, well, I did it first. I had applied there before when I was just looking for work to supplement my income. But, and the guy I spoke to didn't even have any part-time positions. We had a full-time at that time. So it was like a year later, you know, I went back up there and he just hired me. I thought if I just drive and I don't really have to deal with people, because there's a difference with dealing with people in a position of authority than just dealing with people when you're all equal.
Yeah.
But I figured I would just drive, because that way I wouldn't have to deal with that. But you have to take these tests when you first come in, and I had like 20 of them that I did. But the other drivers, they only have like 4. So what he was doing was I got certified in everything. And then he eventually started pulling me off the street from driving and having me work at the front desk, because he didn't have to pay another salary to somebody, and all the sales I was making was going in his name. So, you know, it was just a win-win for him. When I told him he didn't take me off of this because I didn't come here to work a register, and he really gagged about it. You know, so I just left. But then I also met a guy that was an ex-Denver cop that I had seen from time to time. You know, so he ended up getting breast cancer.
Wow.
Yeah,
It's rare for men.
It is. It is. But, you know, so I worked with him for 2 months, and then he said he had to go get a biopsy done.
Wow.
I never saw him again after that.
Wow.
But it's always an adjustment. But I would do shit just to get my adrenaline going. You know, and, like, just haul ass, pass cars in a double lane. You know, 80 miles an hour. Just to get that.
Yeah.
You know, but
So what was it like growing up in Nevada? Any thoughts on that?
You know, yeah, because, you know, I talk to a lot of, you know, guys I work with or whatever, and they tell me about, you know, growing up in Denver, they grew up in Aurora or whatever, you know, that the police were always an issue in some shape or form. But growing up in Nevada, the police were never an issue. You know, so
It's true.
I didn't really have that. But I did learn how to shoot, you know, growing up in Nevada, because that's all those guys really did. You know, the 22 rifle, 22 pistol, shotguns. All my friends had a MAC-10, a machine gun.
Yeah. Wow.
But I became real proficient in shooting.
You seem to fit in real good, though. I mean, you had so many friends. You were popular. You did parties, girlfriends. I mean, what was
Come
it?
on now.
People just loved you, dude. People loved you, man. People loved you.
did.
I struggled a little bit, but I mean, I benefit from it. I took
People
that. I
knew you
benefit
better
from
than
it.
they knew me.
I don't know.
I think so.
I was just the kind of person I was then. I was just a goody two shoes, just trying to be perfect, trying to please, you know what I'm saying? It was miserable. I was a miserable guy.
It's kind of hard not to be
But
that way.
you
Not
seem
minority.
different, though.
Tom. Oh yeah, I remember that because a lot of times in school they're like, "Oh, you're Tom Cole's little brother. Oh, come over here. Let me help you out." You know, it's like they always knew Tom.
Yeah, it's like you were living life to the fullest, kind of
You
thing.
never know when life is going to end.
But even that young, though, are you thinking about that? That young?
Yeah.
You just have.
I just want to have fun.
Yeah.
You know, I'm quite comfortable not doing shit these days. You know what I mean?
Right.
I sit at home,
Yeah.
getting fat, learning how to cook. But
Me too. What's your favorite dish that you make? I wasn't sure if you were gonna like this pasta or not. I said, yeah, I'll go for it.
I do.
Yeah.
It just got cold. I got to heat it up.
Yeah.
I eat Mexican food all the time.
Yeah.
So it really just depends on what I want to eat that day. Because when I was working at that bar, I really got some good recipes. But I was just talking with Steven about the chimichanga. What was I talking to you about a chimichanga?
Yeah.
You ever made a? Have you tried it?
No, I haven't done that.
Like an air fryer.
He was saying air fryer.
Yeah, you just get a big burrito shell, put your stuff in there, and then fold the ends, and then roll it over the ends so that it's closed on both sides.
Yeah.
And then just spray some oil on it and put it in the deep fryer. Or the air fryer.
I'm about to try that.
Really good, man. I do taquitos the same way. Just with corn tortilla shells, shredded chicken or shredded pork.
Yeah.
But I eat Mexican food every single day. And sometimes I try not to, but I cannot go a day
That's your
without it.
favorite, though. Huh?
That's my favorite. I like pastas. I mean, I love other things like, you know, chicken, but I don't always buy it.
Yeah.
You know, so this is actually a treat for me.
So how's it like? Because one thing about you, you're always working. You're always working. I mean, no matter what you are working, you're doing something.
Yeah.
And right now, you got laid off, so you've been off for a little bit. What's that like?
It's sometimes I wake up and I'm like, yeah. And then sometimes I wake up like, oh my god. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. Now I got a goddamn thing to do. Till I go to bed again at 11.
All right.
But throughout that pandemic, really, when it started, I was working. You know, I was always finding a job. And they were good jobs, you know, but get laid off.
Yeah.
So when this company started laying people off, and my employers said, well, you know, we've set up for anybody that wants to go on workers or unemployment insurance, you're approved to do it. So I thought, you know, I've never done that. I've never gone on unemployment.
Yeah.
So I just decided to do it. So really, I don't have to be back until next December.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying.
That's a long time.
But as soon as I start getting some money coming in, I'm gonna buy me a gym set.
Nice.
So that I can work out. Yeah, because
I hate working out.
I always get my exercise at work.
Steven does it.
Yeah, I like to do it. I just can't go to the gym now because it's all the virus going on. But for me personally, well, I'm probably gonna wait till I actually get vaccinated before I start going. But I still do. I do go to the track and do some weights in the basement, but nothing like the gym. I'm surprised they don't have one in your. They have one in your complex or no? They don't have one. Don't have a gym.
They don't.
What do you think of your complex? What do you think of that place? Your neighbors, all
It's
that.
quiet.
Yeah.
It's very quiet. Plus, they just redid everything. Last couple of years, so they tore on everybody's deck, and they put that Trex deck, that plastic looking, whatever that stuff. So there's not a bunch of wooden. Because before the ledge, the edge of the deck was wood, but I think that place was built in like '83 or something. So it was all sun, it was all curling up from the sun.
Yeah.
So they replaced all that, and now it's metal rod as opposed to the wood. And it's huge. I was just telling Mom, my deck is like, if we're going widthwise from like where I am to the walls, how wide it is, and then it goes all the way back to your kitchen window.
Wow.
I mean, it's huge, but I never go out there.
Yeah.
That would be my favorite place.
Yeah.
I don't have
Kidding.
anything. I
Yeah.
don't have everything to sit on.
Shoot, I would just stand and smoke a cigar.
Yeah. Something.
I thought about it. Brianna used to go out there
Yeah.
with her friends, smoking that shit.
I never tried that shit though.
I
never
I
tried
have.
it.
I've tried
You
it.
know,
I have.
I might get hooked on it. I drink a little bit, but I've never.
Tried marijuana.
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
never tried it. I think I have a hard time relaxing. I think it would relax.
I think it would relax
I
you.
just have pride knowing I just never tried. It's like an ego thing.
Yeah.
Have you ever done drugs?
Yeah.
I'm superior. I'm better than you, motherfucker. I ain't done no drugs.
Right.
Get the fuck out of my face with that shit. You do drugs, bitch?
Yeah.
No, I probably could do it. I just have pride knowing I have.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
got
one.
nothing against it though.
Yeah.
I really do think it would relax.
Yeah. Maybe one day. I mean, for me, I like it just because, I can't do it now because I'm working, but when I did, I liked it because it doesn't really give you the hangover like you would if you had, if you were drinking. That's the thing. And you just have a little bit. It just depends if it's an edible or if it's, you're actually smoking, ingesting it, then it happens quicker.
Every job I've ever had, I've had to be urine tested,
Yeah.
which is the only reason
Right.
I don't do it. But I've taken some, because I was prone to nightmares
Yeah.
early on, so I would take a couple hits out Brianna's joint,
Right. Right.
and go to sleep.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, depending which one you get, it can help you sleep, and some will make you eat more. It just depends what you want,
We had this, there was like five of her friends over one night. And I was coming out to the kitchen because I couldn't sleep. So Brianna says, well, here, just take a hit of this, and I guarantee you'll go to sleep. I'm like, all right. So I go into the room, and I know Brianna's friends. And I do my... And then one of them goes, no, don't hit it that hard. So I blew it out, and then I was like, and then one of the girls asked me this cup of water. She's like, drink that. So I put a big gulp in my mouth, but I didn't swallow it because I was afraid I was going to hiccup again.
Choke.
Yeah, exactly. But I didn't swallow it, so I didn't go.
Oh man.
I thought it was funny.
What'd you think of that insurrection? I just have a few more questions.
That was bullshit. And that's exactly what it was. It was an insurrection because those guys believed that if they stormed the White House and they stopped Pence from okaying the election or whatever, then it would be their government.
Yeah.
But it's not the way it worked out. It wouldn't have worked out even if they got Pence.
Yeah.
And they were stupid for following Trump.
Yeah.
But Trump should be in jail.
Yeah.
He should be in jail. They've created a monster. With this not impeaching him when they've had ample opportunity. They had ample opportunity the first time. They had more than opportunity. You know, this last time they had opportunity, but they just
plenty of evidence.
They think that because Trump gets money, he gets money from people.
Yeah,
he still gets money from people in the stop the steal the election because he's trying to run back. You know, again.
Right.
So I think the Republican Party is just afraid that they're going to lose their cash cow.
Yeah.
So they kiss his ass. They make themselves look like fools.
Yeah.
And then Trump says, "Quit giving those guys money.
Yeah.
Start giving your money to me."
Yes.
And there's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah.
You know, because they have hyped him up to be this wonderful human being. He's going to bring the Republican Party back.
Yeah.
And it shows like, oh yeah, I'm going to give you no money.
Yeah.
And they're all afraid.
Yeah. They've handed themselves right over to him.
Yes, they did.
And they had the opportunity, like you said, like, you know, when they were trying to convict him on that impeachment, they could have just been done with him. And they didn't do it. They said, no, you go ahead and take the keys, you take over, and now he is.
Now it's Trump's
Republican Party now. So,
What do you think of those hate groups? Thoughts on those? The hate groups and...
You mean like
Boogaloo Boys and...
I never could stand
all
a
these.
racist. I can't stand a racist and I can't stand a bully.
Yeah.
And I'm extra hard if I've never been able to tolerate racism or being bullied for one.
I feel like you're good at handling because you're so fucking direct.
You know,
I mean, at all costs, you are direct.
You know, sometimes the directives don't work.
It always works.
But
it costs sometimes, but it always works. Because they know where you stand.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you only want to have a conversation once. You know, this is where I'm at.
This is what I think of you right now. I know what you're doing. You don't hide shit.
I do sometimes. I don't remember. I don't know. I've always just.
I mean, it's not like you're mean or nothing.
I'm a politician.
You're just direct, though. I mean,
But I am direct because
you cut through the bullshit. It's like, nah, I really don't have. It's almost like I don't really have time for bullshit. I don't want to play it. So this directness is going to cut right through it. It's going to sting a little bit. And some of it might come back on me, but I can handle it.
Absolutely.
Take this, motherfucker.
Boom. There's a little bit of truth to that. Being direct isn't always the solution. But it's just because I can read emotion, which is the only reason I do that. You know, even at this last job I had, I don't know why. A couple of my supervisors were just, I made them nervous.
Because it's almost like, I'm not saying you're like this, Tom, but it's almost like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Mike Tyson is a smart motherfucker. And he's mentally smart, and he's almost like a Buddha kind of guy where he's kind of just okay with who he is, know who he is, and can read you and knows that he's the one in the room. And physically, he can fuck you up too. He has all this shit going on, and he's so direct too that he don't really fucking care what you think. So I'm not saying you're at that level per se, but it's almost like that when you're with somebody in the room, and you know that they're not living the same bullshit as you, or you can't even try. Of course they're gonna be intimidated.
Absolutely.
Because people play games. People play games with each other. And when they come across somebody who they know is not gonna play a game, and they're gonna let you know they're not gonna play a game, that's a little scary.
Really?
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
Still kind of like that.
No, people can tell.
I'm not gonna have you talk shit. Not while I'm here. I hope you do. Bringing that stuff up now, making Steven accomplices to bullshit.
No doubt, man. That part would be taken out of the video.
You can edit. I forget about
Edit that part.
Good thing I'm recording it. Just so everybody knows what's going on.
You know, so we were shoveling snow yesterday. a couple days ago, and I usually shovel by myself, and she was helping me out. And I don't look when I'm throwing snow.
Yeah.
Dude, she was right there, and I dumped it all on her. I didn't even know it. And she said to me, "Serious?" Or really? Something like that. And it shocked me when I saw her. But this how bad it is, though. So I'm looking at it with all the snow on, and I don't really like that I did it to her, but I'm not really worried about it. I'm not too concerned about it. There's only one thing that bothers me. Is the revenge part. I know she's gonna come at me, dude. Yeah. She did. She's picking up big snowballs, chasing me down. I'm looking over my shoulder in the fucking house. I don't know what she's gonna do. You know what I'm saying? I was down for getting my coffee one morning. It's all dark in the house. Yeah. She's fucking standing right there, just standing there, looking at me with her hands. And I have headphones on, so I'm listening to whatever I listen to in the morning. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm saying to myself, where the fuck did you come from? And then she said something to me. Tom, you may not know this probably, but Steve will know. She said Michael Myers. You know Michael Myers, the movie?
Halloween.
I'm not scared of any of these motherfuckers you see in the movies and all that, but Michael Myers, you can't kill that motherfucker. Like if I saw all these other creatures, I'd jump out the window, I would jump through the wall. There's something I could do, but if I saw Michael Myers in my room, fuck, you could have me do, because I ain't gonna escape, I ain't gonna even try, it's over. And that's what she knows I'm afraid of this guy.
That's hilarious.
But
she uses that against you.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's funny.
But what were we talking about, Tom?
That people get nervous.
Yeah, so your bosses got nervous. What was up? I think I know why, but anyway.
No. We're just trying to be timid. So it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So I'm just relax. This is what I want. Relax. But just calling them out, that's going to make it worse.
Yeah.
So I just, all right, I'm listening. Don't make eye contact. Agree. Try to be positive. Smile.
Right?
Anything else? Okay.
Right.
But there's no reason for it, though. I mean, there's no reason. I don't know. Some people are just, I don't know, I just can sense when somebody's afraid or nervous. And I can't say, listen, why are you like that? Because then it'll just make it worse for them.
Yeah.
No, yeah, so really, I literally just like, you know, trying to make them unnervous. And they gotta tell me something.
Yeah.
Like, put your mask all the way on.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it is all the way on.
Yep.
That means your nose too. Oh, okay.
Yeah. They don't know all the things you've been through,
right?
Your other jobs and being a police officer
and I don't
security
tell
and all that
I
stuff.
do not tell anybody what I've done before.
Yeah.
They started talking to you different.
Yeah.
They're looking at you different.
Right.
Any thoughts on, I just have a couple more questions, but any thoughts on, because we were talking about this a couple years ago, police brutality, any thoughts on that at all, or Black Lives Matter, any thoughts?
You know, it's just, it's a different policing world. You know, when I started doing it, there was no taser. You fought. It's a fight. It's a fist fight.
Yeah.
Pulling your weapon on somebody is something you go out of your way not to do unless you really, really, really feel threatened. You know, and that's like the last thing that you want. That's your last option. Nowadays, it almost seems like it's your first option.
Yeah.
But I think that in this generation, I think a lot of police officers they hide behind that taser. Like, okay, that taser may keep you from getting any physical contact, but you still need to maintain some physical, you know, attributes about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think fear, but there's absolutely no reason to shoot anybody running away from you. I mean, there's not. Other than you're just pissed off that they're doing it.
Yeah.
You know, or you're just afraid, but the threat is no longer there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just what I think. I just think there's
Lack of training.
yeah, because like back in when I graduated, like 1986, you know, the whole premise with police is that they want this super badass person.
Yeah.
You know, So the training was a lot more rigorous. The physical training was rigorous. You know, the fighting that you did was you know, a lot more stringent than it is now.
Yeah.
Plus, in that day and age, we grew up fighting anyway. So to get into a fight with somebody was simply that. You know, you're going to fight with them. Right. And if they have a weapon or whatever, they use deadly force when justified. Yeah. But it's not ever your first thing. So, I mean, I've had my gun on many a person that don't know how close they came to actually getting shot. But at the last minute, they gave up. Yeah. Or whatever. Yeah. Now, I probably could have shot him. But I want to make sure that you have something on you. Yeah. Because if you don't, you know. Yeah. It's going to be hard to explain why you shot this individual. Yeah. Like, they may be threatening that they had a weapon. So you shoot them, but they don't have one. You know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah, you gave them the opportunity to give up. Why some of these officers they're shooting first before they give someone an opportunity. You're right. And then you'll never shoot inside of a vehicle that's moving. I mean, this, I don't know if that's changed, because I just see a lot of it, but in my day, you just were not allowed to shoot at a moving vehicle. Yeah. Because it just creates a weapon. However much a car weighs, 8,000-pound torpedo now. Yeah. Going in any kind of direction. But I see that all the time. But
do you think race plays a part of
yes,
it? Do you think
absolutely. I think
cops are more afraid of black people?
They are.
What's the deal?
They are more afraid of black people. Yeah. Because, you know, they've never grown up with black people. Yeah. You know, and black people can be intimidating. Not just because they're loud or they're obnoxious. They're well-spoken, direct. They know the law. So you come up, start talking shit, you know, about what it is you want, and they're just not going to comply because they don't have to. Yeah. You know, and it just escalates and escalates and escalates. Right. But I've always been afraid. Even when I was working, and you know, I would catch my guys from time to time, like just staring at a group of, you know, people, like black kids or whatever. Like, what are you doing? I'm just watching this group. Why? Well, because they're just in this big group. Okay, have they done anything? Not that I've seen, but I'm just keeping an eye on them. But you're looking directly at them like they're doing something wrong, and that's why they're looking back at you. So then when one of them tells you to fuck off, and you're going to drive over there, you're going to see what the problem is. Yeah, that's going to escalate everything. Yeah. So I would always put a stop to that. Yeah. If you don't have a reason to fucking sit on somebody and watch, don't. Right. Don't do it. Yeah. Because nobody's afraid of us. Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Yeah. You know, it was a hard lesson to learn, though. And, you know, because when I started working at the hospital, that was the first time I ever wore a gun in public that wasn't concealed. And it was, I always thought, well, I got this gun on my hip, I got this badge. You know, people are they're gonna bow down. If they don't, go for the gun. Yeah. So we get this call of Kimbo. Kimbo, that's where I met him, actually, working at the hospital. Okay. So it's like my third week. In that time, I've gotten into, I've seen more than I've ever seen in my life. You know, I've gotten into some fights. Never had to pull my gun, right? But we go into this McDonald's on a disturbance complaint. So Leroy walks in. There's a big black guy at the counter, and then there's like 4 black guys behind him, like up against the wall. So if he's looking this way, there's people there, but they're all looking this way. It's like they're looking at the front door, and he's looking out there. So as soon as we walk in, you know, the manager guy goes, "These guys need to leave. These guys need to get out of here right now." Yeah. So Leroy says, "Well, what's the problem?" And the little manager dude starts talking to me. He goes, "No, hold on. Yeah." He goes to this guy's big gang member. He says, "I heard what he said. So what do you got?" So, and I'm like this because I'm new. And then one of the guys in the back goes, "Hey, let me tell you something, young blood." He goes, "You got a gun? We got guns." He says, "What the fuck you gonna do?" So I see guns.
Right?
But they're just like smiling, like,
yeah.
So I got these guys at gunpoint. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
They're just standing over there. I can still see the butt of their guns. I'm waiting for the fucking, when's Leroy gonna get on the fucking radio?
Yeah.
And start calling for help. I don't want to reach over and get my radio because I'm still fucking shaking.
Yeah. Right.
So this guy goes, well, I wanted some fucking warm fries. So this guy gave me some cold ones. All I want is my fries.
Yeah.
So Leroy says, well, to the guy, is that what he's asking for? He's asking for warm fries or hot fries? So he goes, well, they were warm when I make him a batch of fries. Mom, put your gun away.
Wow.
These guys are back like, wow. So they make him fries, put them in the bag. Larry says, we cool? I was like, yeah, man, we're cool. So they all start walking out, right? And then the ones that are in the back, said, well, listen, you do that, man. You can't shake like no leaf. You gotta be a tree, man. You ain't scaring nobody. So I was like,
wow.
Just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. They didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
So they left, guns and all.
Yeah.
They got their fries, and
That was the end of it.
that was the end of it.
Wow.
But it could have gone a lot worse, and I started blasting it.
Yeah.
Done.
Yeah. Right.
The Leroy was so calm.
Man,
Yeah.
I almost felt.
Just put your fucking arm.
I almost feel like you guys had mutual respect for each other.
I was scared to death, Rodney.
They were teaching.
There was no respect. Well, maybe.
They were teaching.
They were teaching me, maybe.
Yeah.
They were teaching you.
But,
Yeah.
man, that was like the first time I ever pointed my gun at somebody.
Wow.
It wasn't even worth it. I
Yeah.
didn't even have him in the sight. I was just shaking.
Wow.
There's shit you can do about it.
Yeah. Right.
Then your leg starts going.
Wow.
They just look at it because they know. They
Yeah.
know that you're afraid.
Yeah.
And so I always take those. There's always going to be a chance, I guess. That when you pull on somebody, they're not going to give a fuck, and that has happened a lot.
Yeah.
They just walk away.
Yeah.
Like, yo, man, hey, I got a gun here. It's pointed at you.
Yeah.
They don't care. I mean, some of them don't care.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
It's interesting.
That's so interesting. People don't act the way you think they're gonna act.
No, and you got to be prepared for that.
Yeah.
So, like, even when I'm training people, I tell them that. You don't know how somebody's going to react, so you need to just make sure that you're not caught off guard. Like this taser thing. Not everybody reacts to the taser.
Yeah.
So you got to understand that some of these guys are going to just fucking look at you and say,
Yeah.
and then they're going to come and get you.
Yeah.
So you need to be prepared for that.
Right.
But, criminals, they're like sharks, man. Smell blood in the water.
Yeah.
I had a rookie with me, and we were shaking down this vehicle, and there's 3 gangsters in the back, and then of course there's 2 up front. So my rookie's on the passenger side, and he's got the doors open in the back, and he's got his gun out on these 3 guys in the seats because we don't know what they're doing. But the guy sitting closest to him is like, yo, man, you scared?
Damn.
You scared? Motherfucker over here. Barney over here. So I'm like, shut the fuck up. Hey, man. Hey, homie. First time they had you got that gun out, dog? You got bullet shit? Wow. Talking shit. I said, I want to tell you again, man. You shut the fuck up. Sits back and he says, hey, motherfucker. Hey. You ain't shit, motherfucker.
Tell us how you hurt your shoulder.
Oh, my car accident?
The van. You were in the van. Yeah.
Yeah, I was, that company I worked for. It was a tire distribution company. What the hell it was called. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But I had the Sprinter vans, they're big, like they're big inside, and they're big in the back, but it's not like a cargo van. So you can put just a ton of stuff back there. So it was actually the end of the day. I was on my way back, and I work in Long Island, so I had to get on C470, which is 70 miles or 75 miles an hour. I'm getting off the exit to go onto Pena Boulevard, and the speed limit on that stretch highway is 50 miles an hour, which is what I'm doing. So I'm I'm just going. I see this car on the median. So he's in between. He's on the median, so he could either go that way, it's the direction I'm going, or just cut and keep going on the highway. So he's right in the middle of where the roads separate. And I see him. So as I'm approaching him, he all of a sudden just darts in front of me. He just hits the gas, and now he's right in front of me. I didn't have time to hit the brakes. I hit the back of his car, and my van flew up over. I mean, I caught some serious air on that.
Wow.
And then it went off into the field. You know, and then it's best when something like that happens is just kind of let the steering wheel go.
Yeah.
Because if you try to correct yourself,
Break
you're
your
going to
arm.
roll.
Oh, you would?
Well, yeah, well, see, that's what broke my arm. Because once he pulled in front of me, I just, just immediately grabbed the steering wheel. So all that shock went into my arm.
Yeah.
And then,
That's how you hurt your arm?
yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's how I broke my rib, too, because I had that little thing open, the little thing on the seat.
Yeah.
So, when I hit, rubbed against that, and it cracked my rib. But I knew it hurt, but I didn't know. It was really my rib hurting more.
Yeah.
But so my van's, still 55 miles an hour or whatever, off into this field. And I know that if I hit the brakes or turn, it's probably going to roll.
Yeah.
So I don't. I just ride it out.
Yeah.
So when all the smoke and everything clears, I'm looking around like don't know why I'm wet, I'm like, I know I wasn't sweating, but I'm wet, right? And I'm looking down, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, I didn't have to go to the bathroom. I said, and even if I had to, I would have known. I said, because this is not a scary thing for me. I swear I just pissed my fucking pants when I got this big fucking wet spot.
Oh, man.
You ever heard the story?
Not like that.
Oh,
This is the finale of the story. This is why I had him tell
more
it.
details than
I tried
usual.
to.
I set him up. This is what we get. This is what we get to.
This is not going to be on the final take.
I didn't know that was the whole reason.
I may have one more question.
You should have hit me up first with that.
Wow.
But I'm waiting, all this smoke is clearing, and my airbag hasn't gone off. And I know I hit that dude at fucking 50 miles an hour.
That's
But I'm wet. And then there's water on the dash and on the ceiling, and I realized that I had a big gulp full of lemonade that was in the cup holder by the window.
Oh, okay.
So when I hit the car, all that liquid went up and then came right back down. So now I know what happened. I said, I'm not going to get out of this fucking van until something dries. I'm in the middle of this field. I got white jeans on, but I got this big ass wet spot. So I'm like, I'm cool. I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait until this dries up, before I go out there. Because I figure people are going to be running up there to see if I'm okay. So as I'm looking in my rearview mirror, I see the guy that was in the car. And he's a heavyset guy, he's a big guy. He's running down the hill. So he's running, and there's gopher holes everywhere. And he's fucking moving, for as big as he is, because he thought, I was severely hurt, and it was his fault because he got in front of me.
Yeah.
So now I got to get out and tell him to slow down, because I don't want him to hurt himself.
Yeah.
So he comes running up, and I'm out of the van. I'm standing there. He's like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" I said, "Yeah. I'm fine." And then he looks down. And he sees this big ass wet spot right here. And he says, he goes, "No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay." I'm like, no, man. No, that's not how it is, bro. I had some lemonade. And it's cool. It's cool. I'm like, no, that's not it, But, by the time everybody got there, the police and shit, they got there. And this spot was fading, but it was still there kind of because it was lemonade.
Yeah.
We were intimidated by it.
Yeah.
He said, he admitted it, that it was his fault.
Yeah.
Because if he hadn't, I'd have been screwed. Because I hit him directly behind.
Yeah.
But he was military, or he was Navy.
Okay.
She stepped up.
How long did it take you? You were telling me. How long did it take you to get healed up?
They said it was going to... Well, the thing is when I first went in, they said I had a tear in my rotator cuff. And then there's a tendon that comes here that comes under your arm. So this tendon was torn off of the bone. And then my rotator cuff was torn in half, right? But, so what they were saying was I had maybe a couple of months to recover. But then when he got in there, he realized that my rotator cuff was completely torn in half. And that tendon had retracted up under my arm, and he couldn't get it to bridge. He couldn't get it up here.
Wow.
So he cut 3 inches of muscle out of my bicep and then rigged it, you know.
Yeah.
So that it came. So he did 3 surgeries in that one day.
Wow. Painful?
Yeah, well, yeah.
I remember that.
Who was it?
Yeah.
I woke up because I went in at 11. He said I'd be home by like 1:30, you know. But once he got in there and realized all the damage, it was like 6:30 before I woke up.
Yeah.
And they had this big monstrosity on my arm and just hurt.
Wow.
It hurt. He ended up, he put 2 casts on. So yeah, I had a water cast. I don't know if you ever heard of that or anything. It's actually, I still have it. But it's like a rubber blanket kind of with all these ridges and stuff in them. And then it's hooked to this machine that you put ice water in, and it just circles ice water through this mat, so it's always cold. You know. So he had that on my arm, and he had a big black spot on my arm, and all that pressure was kind of, it was just causing, it was pain, right? Which I suffered through for like 3 hours before Brianna finally took one of them off.
Yeah.
Which made it instantly stop hurting.
Yeah.
But anyway, it took 8 months for me to recover, but they said normal recovery time for somebody is about a year and a half. But I didn't 8 months because I wanted to get back to work.
Yeah.
So, but I can't throw a football like I used to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you throw a punch?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can throw a punch, but I can't throw a football. Because I can't do the,
Yeah.
it comes like
wind
here.
it
I don't know.
back.
Yeah, but I mean, a punch is fine. It's just trying to throw a football.
I mean, like for now, or is that just like a permanent thing?
Well, that's a permanent thing.
Oh.
Yeah, I can't. No, with the football, I can't do shit.
Yeah.
With that. But I got 7 screws in my shoulder, so when it's really cold, I can feel them. You know, but
Wow.
So, any parting words?
I really don't. I mean, it's part of the reason that I don't mind talking to you guys about like this kind of stuff because it is actually an outlet. You know, so I mean, some of these things I've talked to you about, I haven't brought up for a year or whatever. But it's always nice to revisit. You know, to go back because it's part of the healing process.
For sure.
But there's still stories I will never tell.
It's amazing, though.
Yeah.
Your stories are fucking amazing.
Yeah,
That's
they
why
are.
I want you to come.
Yeah.
I want Steve to come and help me out a little bit. But your stories are fucking
Yeah.
amazing. I mean, when we get together at home and you'll tell a story, it's amazing the details you'll tell in a story. I'm like, wow. 'Cause you got characters and everything's laid out. You know what I'm saying? And there's a beginning, there's a middle, there's an end. It's just fascinating. And then sometimes it'll catch me off guard. Like, you talk about this accident, and that accident's tragic. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
And you hurt your arm, you're airborne,
Everyone's
you don't know if it's gonna roll.
I didn't
This
cry.
guy's all this shit.
Yeah.
But yet you look down and your fucking pants are wet. You know what I'm saying? And then you're trying to figure out what the fuck happened because I'm a man. Not that people don't pee on themselves, but not me. I gotta figure out what this shit is. And then it's the drink. That's why I want you to tell the story. Oh yeah, it's the drink. But then here comes this guy. And he's not gonna believe me.
They're not gonna believe
He's
it.
not gonna believe
Yeah,
me.
he did.
Because we all would lie. All of us would lie. Dude, I didn't pee on myself. I don't know, you know.
Liverday, I'm telling you.
And that's what I mean. There's a beginning, middle, and end, and there it is. And it catches you off guard. It's like, should I be fucking laughing at this?
That's some embarrassing shit. Do you know that? Did I ever tell you the story about my sock? That my sock in my shoe? You?
No, I don't think so.
Listen. All right, so before I left the tire plant, and this is actually after the accident. Just a backstory is I do my own laundry. So if it's not brand new, everything goes in the same load. So I put socks, underwear, pants, shirts, whatever. I never dry my jeans. I always just kind of set them out.
Right.
You know. So I washed one night, set my jeans out, and put them on. And you know when you have your pocket, it's like not really in, and you kind of shove it down. Well, that's what I was doing. Right? I'm like, okay, so I got this pocket thing going on. Went to work. I loaded my truck. Nothing at all. Now, Brianna had bought me some socks, and they were bright white, and the toe and the heel were brown, light brown. So we usually go to McDonald's, for the guys I load with. We'll go to McDonald's up the street and just get whatever. So it's extra crowded in there on this day. I don't know why it's so busy, but I'm standing there, and I must have said this out loud because I'm looking down at my shoe, and I noticed one of my socks is coming out of my pant leg and it's swirling across the top of my shoe. Right? So now I know what it is. It's light brown and white, right? So I know what it is, but I'm looking and I think I said, "What the fuck?" And these two girls turn around, and when I look up, one's like this, and the other's like, right? But I know what it is. Right? So I reach down, and I'm trying to pull, and then all of a sudden everybody's watching. So what it looked like was I was pulling some dirty drawers out of my pant leg and over my shoe. I couldn't stop and say, "Listen, everybody, this is a sock.
It's a sock.
And this is a brown heel and a brown toe." I could explain it. So I fucking pull it out, and people are just like, "Oh!" And I immediately head for the door. Right? So I gotta get the fuck out of there. Well, my so-called buddies are like, "Yo, Tom, man, what the fuck?" They're following me out, going, "What the fuck?" Just laughing their asses off. I'm like, "Listen, dude, it's a sock. What the fuck, man? Come on back." And they're laughing their asses off. I jumped in my truck and I took the fuck off. And I couldn't go back there. But it wasn't some dirty drawers. It was a sock that was in my pant leg the whole time.
That's hilarious.
But anyway, it was not funny because that was humiliating. People think you shit yourself. Everybody was watching. But anyway, that's the last thing. That's
That's awesome.
Stupid thing that's happened to me.
Your hamster. I was going to ask you about your hamster. I don't know why.
My guinea pig?
Yeah, guinea pig. You're pretty close with that. Is there a story behind that? And then we'll end it there.
Yeah, the story is men don't own guinea pigs. So we'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. All right.
No, there's not.
No story there?
There's not really a story there. Keisha, I bought Keisha a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And she absolutely loved this little thing. So then I ended up just buying another one. But they're, Keisha's guinea pig had a personality. Because she talked to him, and she would just kind of let him run around. And he knew what no meant. But she loved this because she named him Patches. And he was just a big fat guinea pig with a lazy eye. But Keisha loved this thing. And when her guinea pig died, she was just devastated.
Yeah.
She hasn't had one since. But I'm not sure what story you're getting at. I don't think there was a...
But you have one.
Yeah, well, a girl told me it's not manly. Men don't have guinea pigs.
All right.
An iguana, maybe.
Right.
Not a guinea pig. So we'll just leave it as Keisha's guinea pig.
Okay.
All right.
We got rid of mine.
So we'll end it there.
Cool.